This is the Wolfbox G900 Tripro, a cutting-edge rearview mirror touchscreen dashcam which films the road around you with 3 HDR cameras. There are 2 Tripro packages you can buy. If you have the Tripro bumper, then you'll get a 4K front-facing lens, a 2.5K rear-facing lens, plus a waterproof Full HD lens for your bumper to help with parking or seeing the terrain in front of you. If, like I have here, you've got the Tripro cabin, then you'll get the same 4K and 2.5K lens, plus an infrared interior lens for mounting in the cab of your vehicle. I reviewed the original G900 Pro model at the end of last year, which had just the 4K front and 2.5K rear lenses, and was really impressed by both the dashcam build and video quality, so it'll be exciting to see how this model stacks up with the addition of an extra lens. As well as ensuring you're covered from all angles in day or night, Wolfbox has packed the G900 Tripro with voice control, Wi-Fi, an app, GPS and a parking mode, as well as a really comprehensive package of accessories to complement the camera too. And just so you know, Wolfbox kindly provided the G900 Tripro so I could make this video, though all the thoughts and opinions are my own. I've put affiliate links with some discount codes in the description below if you want to get one for yourself and save some money. With that out of the way, let's take a closer look at the Wolfbox G900 Tripro. The G900 Tripro comes in a really nice design box which, once opened up, has a smart design of the front camera with the mirror dashcam unit below. The first thing to mention is it's not a mirror at all. It's completely digital and is the screen for viewing the cameras and adjusting settings from, but it does sit in the vehicle where the mirror normally would. It's a smart design, feeling weighty and well made, and is around 30 cm or 12 inches across at its longest point, and 8 cm or just over 3 inches wide, so you've got a nice big screen to look at. On the back is the 170-degree front-facing 4K camera lens, which moves in a number of directions for getting the perfect filming angle, with a reset button just above the Wolfbox logo. Along the top and bottom are 4 clips for securing the device in place, which I'll explain in more detail later when I come to install it. And on the bottom edge is the orange power button. A short press wakes up or puts the dashcam to sleep, while a long press turns it on or off. And then there's 2 microphones either side of it to pick up voice commands. On the top edge, you've got your ports, which is an ideal location for hiding the wires in the roof of the vehicle. Up first is a USB-C port for powering the device. Next to it is an AV port for connecting the interior cabin camera. Then there's the microSD card slot, and the device comes with a 256GB card installed. Such a large capacity is essential for recording 3 cameras at the same time. Next is a 3.5mm port to connect a GPS module. And finally is another USB-C port for connecting the rear camera. Putting the screen to one side and going back to the main packaging, there are a number of smaller boxes containing accessories. In the first one you'll find a comprehensive user manual in a number of languages, a quick start guide and 2 electrostatic stickers which can be used to stick the dashcam to the windscreen if desired. Opening up the next box, you'll find the 2.5K rear camera with a metal tilting mount attached, and a cable which is around 7 meters or 23 feet long. There's a USB-C plug on the other end which will go into the main dashcam unit, and also a red wire for connecting to your reversing light wire, so when you put the vehicle in reverse, the reversing camera immediately shows on the G900 Tripro screen to help with parking. I'll go through how to install that later on. The camera is IP67 waterproof, so can be used either internally or externally. The reversing camera comes with a double-sided sticky pad and screws for attaching to your vehicle. There's also the addition of a second reversing camera mount too, which has a Z-type fold and is for extra adjustability if you were installing the reversing camera inside your vehicle or in an unusual place. It also comes with another sticky pad and more screws. Next there's a bag of sticky back cable tidying clips which are useful for hiding wires during the install. There's another sticky pad included too. This one is square and is a spare for the cabin camera. To finish this box off, there's a lens cleaning cloth and a trim removal tool for hiding wires in the dashboard. The next box houses the cabin camera, which is a more cylindrical design, and the lens rotates about 300 degrees so you can get the best view of the inside of your vehicle. There's a second bit of protective plastic over the infrared sensors which surround the lens, which will need to be removed too. To complete this box, there's the GPS mount mentioned earlier, which has a 2 meter or 6.5 foot long cable, and there's a sticky pad on the underside of the module to stick it to the dashboard and get a strong GPS signal. In the final box you'll find the power cable, and it's a 12 volt to USB-C cable with the addition of a USB-A port so you can power or charge another device such as a phone through it. The cable is 3.5 meters or 11.5 feet long. Finally, there are 2 large and 2 small rubber straps for attaching the screen unit over the top of an existing rear view mirror. They're a bit stretchy to accommodate different sized mirrors and to ensure a solid fit. So that's what's included in the box, but there are a couple of accessories to consider. If you've got a very long vehicle such as a van, truck or bus, you may need an extra long cable for the reversing camera, which is also available from Wolfbox. They have 33 and 55 foot long ones on their website. There's also a hardwiring kit available, which will provide constant power to the G900 Tripro for use with the parking mode. At one end there's a USB-C cable to plug into the device, while at the other end is a red, yellow and black ground cable for attaching to the fuse box of the vehicle. This isn't too difficult to do and will free up your 12 volt port and allow use of the parking mode, and I'll go into a lot more detail about how to do this later in the video. The hardwire kit comes with 4 pairs of fuse taps, suitable for most vehicles, a trim removal tool to help deal with the wires, and an instruction booklet. Other accessories which I don't have here but are available from the Wolfbox website are alternative screen mounting methods, but I definitely prefer attaching to the existing rearview mirror as it's such a simple solution. There's also the option of a polarizing filter to reduce glare and reflections in your video. So that's the G900 Tripro unboxed. Now let's see how it's installed and how it works. If you've already got a sturdy rearview mirror in your vehicle, then attaching the G900 Tripro is easy. With the rubber straps to hand, hook them over the top attachment points, hold the screen unit up to the mirror, making sure the camera extends beyond the mirror so the view isn't blocked, then pull the straps behind the back of the mirror to the bottom attachment points, making sure that it isn't loose in any way. Wiring the screen to the vehicle is simple with the 12 volt to USB-C power cable, which can be plugged into the USB-C port on the screen. As you don't want a cable in the way potentially blocking visibility or getting caught on things, the best method of wiring the screen is hiding the cable in the vehicle's trim. In my case, I can push it easily into the headliner above me, but it doesn't go so easily into the plastic pillar covers. In most vehicles you can remove door seals, pop off bits of trim, feed the cables through and snap them back in place. After feeding the cable down the pillar towards the door, you can run the cable along the footwell towards the 12 volt port, which in my van is near the floor between the 2 seats. Once there, plug into the 12 volt port and you're good to go. When you start the vehicle, the screen will start up, show the camera and begin recording. But before we do that, there are 2 more cameras to install. Up first is the rear camera, which, if you're sticking it to the inside of your vehicle, is very easy to do. I've stuck mine to the outside bumper, and there's the option of attaching the red wire to the reversing light bulb, which I'll go through in more detail later, and with it outside you'll probably want to hide the cables through the door handle trim, which will take a bit more time. Finally, the cabin camera can be installed. I initially wanted to install it in the top right corner so it's pointing at the driver, but the cable just wasn't long enough, so as I couldn't find a better place to put it, I ended up moving it slightly closer. It'd definitely be nice to see a longer cable included so you can have the camera exactly where you want it. Finally, we can turn the device on and you can swipe between the cameras, adjusting the camera lenses to get the perfect angle. The image is fitted to the shape of the screen, so initially you're only seeing the center part of the image, but swiping up and down will reveal the rest of it. It's worth me saying here that my van didn't originally have rear windows until I fitted some, so it didn't come out of the factory with a rear view mirror at all. I purchased one for my van, but it had a really long arm, so I made a much shorter one out of a bolt. As a result of it being really near the ceiling, you'll see a bit of ceiling headliner in the dashcam videos I shoot, which really won't block anything major, but if you use this in the majority of other vehicles with regular rearview mirrors, then you won't have this problem at all, as the mirror arm will be longer. Finally, not having a rearview mirror installed isn't an MOT fail in the UK, for anyone wondering. Mirror requirements in the UK are dependent on the age of your vehicle, and as mine is newer than 2010, it is required to have 3 mirrors or devices, which can include cameras, meaning 2 wing mirrors and a rear view mirror or camera equivalent. The exception here is if you had an internal mirror which doesn't provide a view to the rear, and not having windows in the back of a van would meet this criteria. Do check the law in the country you're watching this video from to make sure you're legal. At this point, it's a good opportunity to install the GPS module too. The wire can be plugged into the port on the G900 Tripro screen, and the module itself needs to be stuck facing upwards towards the sky, so finding a corner of your dashboard might be ideal with the wires tucked away in the dashboard. One final note of safety though, do ensure the dashcam doesn't obstruct your line of sight and the wires don't block any airbags. Now let's have a look at the screen in more detail and go through the many settings too. In the top left corner you've got the length of time it's been recording, followed by the resolutions for the cameras you've currently got plugged in. At this point it's a good option. On the right hand side you have shortcuts to mute sounds and start or stop the Wi-Fi connection at the top. The time is below it, then the date and day of the week below that, and finally a shortcut for displaying voice commands. There's also a further icon on the screen when you have the GPS module plugged in. It will show the speed and driving direction, which is a nice touch. At this point, I have to mention the screen quality as it really is fantastic. The image is sharp and clear with excellent realistic colour. It's very responsive too, with no lag whatsoever. Tapping the screen once will bring up the bottom menu, which consists of the record button to start and stop recording, the brightness button which brings up a slider, though there's no auto brightness unfortunately, a button to switch between views of the front, cabin and rear cameras or to show all three cameras next to each other, a capture button which takes a photo on all cameras of the current scene, a protect button to lock the clip and ensure it can't be written over, and a playback button which takes you to a page to view all of your footage. Starting on the left, you can choose which camera to view with the cabin camera labelled as extra, then you can select from footage, protected clips and photos and then select your file. Tap a file and it will begin playing, again with absolutely no lag. In the player, you can scrub through the footage easily and enter full screen mode to have a closer look, though this view is very stretched to fit the screen. On the right of this screen, the top button allows clips to be selected, deleted or locked en masse. Back on the home screen, the next button along allows you to turn audio recording on and off, and the final button takes you to settings. First is resolution, and this changes depending on which cameras you have connected. The best resolution option is 4K for the front camera, 1080 Full HD for the cabin camera and 2.5K for the rear camera, though you can reduce them if you want to save memory space. The next setting is display modes, and here you can choose whether to display the front, rear or both cameras on the screen, though you have two ways to do this outside of the settings section anyway. Next is sound record, and here you can turn the audio recording on and off for your dashcam footage. Then there's loop recording, which allows you to change the length of your dashcam clips from 1 to 2 or 3 minutes. Next is G sensor, which is a sensor that detects impacts, and you can change the sensitivity to low, medium, high or turn it off altogether. Fatigue reminder is an alert which tells you to have a break after 1, 2 or 3 hours, or you can turn it off altogether. The next setting is Wi-Fi, and by pressing the 2.4 GHz or 5.8 GHz frequencies, you'll create a connection from the G900 Tripro which you can connect your phone to. I'll cover this in much more detail later in the video, where I'll go through the whole Wolfbox app. The next setting is volume, which has off, low, medium and high options. Then there's click tone to turn off device sounds, then screensaver, which turns the screen dark after periods of inactivity of 10 seconds, 30 seconds and 2 minutes. Having the screensaver off will keep the screen on at all times, so you'll always see the cameras. Screen brightness brings up a slider to adjust how bright the screen is. Next is exposure, to increase or decrease the brightness of the front camera only. Voice control turns the feature on or off, and also brings up the numerous voice commands for hands-free control. Mirror flip gives options to mirror cabin and rear camera views. Rear cam flip flips the rear image upside down, which is useful if you choose to mount the camera in an unusual position. Reversing line allows you to switch the reversing lines between full screen display and panorama display. These lines help gauge distance, but will only come up if you have the red wire on the reversing camera attached to the reversing light bulb wire of your vehicle. So when you put the vehicle in reverse, the screen knows and brings up the lines. Date stamp adds the date to your footage, and language allows you to change the device into one of a number of different languages. Clock settings allows you to change the date and time. Time format allows you to change the date to the format you're used to. Time style allows you to switch between a 12 and 24-hour clock, and DST allows you to compensate for daylight savings time. You can switch between 50 and 60 Hz to control flicker, and the UK is usually 50 Hz while the US is 60 Hz. Help Center gives options for assistance with the device. Format Reminder gives regular 15 or 25-day reminders to format the SD card. And Format SD card is how you do it. Reset Setup will return the device to its factory settings. App gives you a QR code to download the app to your device, and finally product information tells you about the device. It's fair to say that not only is this screen very high quality and fast, but it's also got a very nice, easy to use layout, which is packed with a vast amount of functionality and adjustability, so you can get the setup you want. If you decide to hardwire the G900 Tripro to your car's fuses and provide constant power to the dashcam instead of using the 12V to USB-C power cable, then you'll have access to one further dashcam setting: parking mode. Not only will hardwiring free up your 12V port for other appliances, but you'll be able to monitor your dashcam round the clock. Within the parking mode setting, you'll get 4 settings to choose from. The first is G-trigger recording, which will trigger the dashcam to start recording if it detects an impact based on the G-sensor sensitivity you've determined in the respective setting mentioned previously. If you want to keep an eye on your vehicle round the clock, then the next 3 settings are ideal. First is 12-hour time-lapse, which will capture a time-lapse over 12 hours, ideal for overnight protection, while the third and fourth options are 24 and 48-hour time-lapses, which is continuous capture until the vehicle is started again. The limiting factor here is your vehicle battery. However, if you do have an old or faulty battery, your vehicle won't fail to start when you next need it. The hardwiring kit will automatically turn the dashcam off if it detects the vehicle's battery voltage getting too low, so the dashcam will turn off and protect the vehicle for when it's next needed. Whether used for security or just curiosity, the time-lapse function is a great way to capture all 3 angles of your car without filling up your memory card quickly with continuous recording, and you can really see the level of brightness captured with the G900 Tripro. You can buy the Wolfbox hardwire kit with the dashcam or separately if necessary, and I've put a link to it below if you're interested. Hardwiring a dashcam to a vehicle can be a little daunting, but in essence you need to find the right fuses to use, check which direction the power flows in and out of the fuses, insert the fuses and attach them to the device. If you've got the Wolfbox hardwiring kit, then the only additional tool you'll need is a digital multimeter to find which fuses to use. To save this video getting too long, I've created a complete step-by-step guide on how to hardwire a device to your vehicle's fuses, which you should see a link to in the top right corner, and I'll link to it in the description below too, if you want to try it for yourself. There's also a Wolfbox app, so you can view footage back and adjust settings without touching the dashcam. It's available for free from the Google Play Store or the App Store and is easy to set up. First, download the app and create an account. Once logged in, tap the plus button and allow permissions. Pop in your vehicle info, turn on the dashcam Wi-Fi, tap the To Connect Wi-Fi button and connect your phone's Wi-Fi to the dashcam using the details on the dashcam screen. Going back to the app, your dashcam will appear listed and tapping it will take you to a new page where the first thing you'll notice is that you're live viewing your dashcam. I was really surprised at just how little lag there is in this stream. You're getting a good quality image through, but below that you're shown your GPS signal strength, current speed and a map with your current location. On this page you have the option to view the dashcam stream in full screen, and there are a number of options below it. The first is mirror, which will flip the image. Next is switch, which will change the camera you're viewing. Next there's sound, which will turn the microphone on or off. Next is rec, which will start or stop recording. Finally there's snapshot, which will take a photo. In the top right corner of the screen you have a settings button, which takes you to an array of different options. Here you can change sound recording and volume, resolution, loop recording duration, collision sensitivity and much more. Going back to the dashcam page, the button at the bottom of the screen will take you to your videos, photos and locked files called Video, Snapshot and Urgent here. You'll find clips from the different cameras labelled next to each other here, so you can get instant access to all the angles at a particular moment. Tapping on a clip will take you to a player screen, where you can download the clip to your phone, delete it, and the arrow on the right switches to the alternative views from other lenses. There's a crop button on the video player, but this just takes a photo and isn't for trimming clips. Back on the app homepage, along the bottom you have another way to access your dashcam's album and view and change your profile details. This appears to be a new app to the one I've used for other Wolfbox mirror dashcams previously, and overall I like it and think it's a faster improvement. Finally, do bear in mind that the dashcam creates a local Wi-Fi connection, so you'll need to be nearby the G900 Tripro front camera unit to connect it to the Wolfbox app, which does make me wonder why they've included a map and show your current speed, as if you're in your vehicle then you'd know where you are and how fast you're going. That said, it's always nice to have an app to download files to your phone. The rearview camera offers the ability to have a rear dashcam and a reversing camera in addition to the front and cabin lenses. If you just want the first or both options, then you'll need to feed the long wire to the back, feed it through the inside of the rear door to the outside, and stick or screw the camera in place. The long wire will need to be hidden in the vehicle, and then the camera can be adjusted to get the right filming angle and tightened. The only difference to use this as a reversing camera is that the red wire will need to be attached to the reversing light, so that when you put your car in reverse, the camera knows this and the Wolfbox display will automatically bring up the reversing screen. Most of the images you're seeing are from the full detailed video on how to install this type of rear view camera to the reversing light that I've got on my channel, and you should see a link to that in the top right corner now, but I'll also leave a link in the description below. It's a bit of effort but not as difficult as you think, and is worth it in my opinion. The real test of the Wolfbox G900 Tripro is its video quality and how well it records the road ahead, inside and behind the vehicle. Thankfully, the three lenses film quality HDR footage, meaning you've got some of the best video being captured around your vehicle, so important details such as number plates and road signs are clear to read. The 4K front camera is undoubtedly the best and captures crisp footage of the road ahead of you. It uses a Sony IMX678 sensor, and all the details you need are clear in daytime, and most number plates are readable at a reasonable distance at night too. The 2.5K rear camera uses an OmniVision PureCell Plus OS04J10 sensor, and also provides great image quality for recording the road and reversing, though I do think perhaps it might be over sharpened. The cabin camera is the lowest resolution of the bunch, but despite being Full HD, it puts out a very respectable image for what it's needed for, and as the subject are nearer the camera, this is perfectly suitable. You've also got 4 infrared lights built in for capturing details at night, which it does very well. Finally, do bear in mind that dashcam footage as a whole is compressed to get the best balance between quality and file size, and I've yet to find a dashcam which has the same 4K output as, say, my phone. If you're eyeing up the G900 Tripro, but are wondering what the differences are from the G900 Pro, then I've got you covered. The G900 Pro originally evolved from the G900, which had smaller sensors and lacked Wi-Fi app control, voice control and fatigue driving alerts. When I tested the G900 Pro, I found it to be a really complete dashcam package, and you can still buy it, and I'll put a link in the description below if you're interested. The only major thing missing was a third camera, which Wolfbox have addressed here, with the option of either the cabin or bumper cameras. As a result, there's an extra port on the top of the G900 Tripro to plug in this camera, which there isn't on the G900 Pro, so you can't just buy an extra camera and upgrade. There are a couple of other differences to bear in mind too. The rear camera sensor of the G900 Tripro has been changed from the Sony Starvis IMX3365 to the OmniVision PureCell Plus OS04J10, and there is increased noise reduction, and the microSD card included is 256GB instead of 128. As for the differences between the cabin and bumper Tripros, it really comes down to the camera. As far as I can see, despite the difference in camera shape, which is probably more to do with weatherproofing, they use the same OmniVision sensor. I think the bumper version probably comes into its own in two scenarios. The first is city parking, where you need to pull into tight spaces and see exactly how much room you have in front of you, and off-roading, where there might be low-lying obstacles up ahead. Overall, it definitely looks like Wolfbox have tried to capitalise on their successful G900 Pro with these additional camera options. For such impressive video quality and features, there is a slightly higher price tag attached to the G900 Tripro. The cabin and bumper versions retail at just over £400 or $430, though there are often discounts available. If you're looking for cheaper options, then do check out the G900 Pro, which retails for around £330 or $360, though there are the G900, G850 Pro and G840S versions to consider too. If you'd like to get one for yourself, I've put affiliate links with discount codes in the description below which help my channel out and will save you some money too. Wolfbox have clearly built on their excellent G900 Pro to produce what might be the top of the range mirror dashcam in the Tripro. All three cameras record excellent quality and the 12-inch screen is a pleasure to use and very reactive to touch. If I had to be picky, I'd ask for a longer cabin camera cable to increase the places you could position the camera, get auto brightness added to help with night driving, and being a bit greedy, see if a quad pro is possible so you can add the bumper camera as well as the cabin camera. Overall though, you're getting a well-built, high-quality device with some of the best features you can find on the dashcam market today to help protect your car whilst driving or parked up. If you've enjoyed this video and think I've earned it, please take a moment to like the video, subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell to be the first to see more videos like this. Thanks for watching.